what about this half? What about all of this here? Can I even get to the other side here? Because I don't want to finish this half already, because I'm curious if I can walk through the water here. This here to explore with side quests and everything, right? Well, I guess that's it. Well, let's go to the fort.
In Angren's swamps, one can easily lose one's way. Thick fog fills the air, paths end without warning, dense thickets obscure the distance. The sole way to determine one's position is to climb a tree and peer out over the canopy. This duty fell to Meave's scouts, while the force halted below. During one such delay, Meave caught the words she'd longed to hear.
Majesty! Tuzla Castle! Its tower! I see it!
To her soldiers' astonishment, Meave cast off her gauntlets and started up the nearest trunk. She longed to see the castle for herself, for then she would know sweet vengeance was at hand. The climb proved tricky, as the trunk was slippery and the branches, run through with rot, were frail. Yet Meave showed herself to be skillful and spry. As a child, she had loved to scale trees, much to her governess' dismay. Meave looked out to see a mighty stone tower outlined against the horizon. Legend holds Tuzla Castle was to have had 3 such bastions. Yet King Ragbard, the fort's benefactor, had forsaken the effort when yet another stone transport simply sank into Angren's boggy roads. It was a moment of respite for Meave, a moment of quiet joy. She breathed and tasted air free of the bog stench. She took in silence undisturbed by the hum of mosquito swarms. And she relished her prospects. The coming battle against Caldwell. The soldiers stood.
Prove I was no fool to keep you at my side,
said Meave, turning to Gascon and Reynard.
A slaughter I must avoid. How will I do it?
Your Grace,
began Reynard.
set our machines to sling boulders. At the west wall, it's weakest. 'Tis our best chance at a breach.
Our men'll need cover,
added Gascon.
Reeds we must harvest and burn. Smoke will cloak us, conceal us from the castle's defenders.
Good,
agreed the Queen.
Now get to work.
Amidst billowing blue smoke, Lyrian footmen rushed through the breach wrought by Reynard's catapults. Though she had yet to forgive her companions, Meave had to admit they'd given her sound advice.
Caldwell! I've come for your head!
I knew you'd come. Your lofty pride precedes another dramatic fall.
I smell a leak.
Wise choice.
Cork it.
Order!
Coin never stinks, no matter. Our archers shouldn't be any more trouble.
Life is mine now.
Ha!
bigger they are, easier they are to target. Thing about slings, they hide well.
Scoia'tael! Attack! God! Ah!
Wait, how does he have so many cards? Oh shit. Oh shit, why does he have so many cards? He has like 4 cards left. How many cards does he have? That's not fair. Did he have more cards than me when we started? Yeah! That's totally not fair.
March on. For the Queen!
No one touch him! The Count is mine!
Many of Maeve's victories have been immortalized in poetry and song, but not the fall of Tuzla. Lyrians fought Lyrians, brothers killed brothers, in rain and mud midst a cursed swamp. Certainly nothing to inspire a bard. Near the battle's end, Maeve stormed the great stone tower to which Caldwell had fled. The Queen ascended the stairs, dealing blow after blow, blood cascading down in her wake. She reached the top floor to find the Count waiting, with no intention to defend himself.
If it's mercy you expect, you'll be sorely disappointed.
Mercy. I know you all too well for that, Maeve. Ever vindictive and cruel.
All this from a paragon of knightly virtues. You stabbed me in the back, Caldwell, and used Willem to do so. My son!
who agreed without a moment's hesitation. Forsaken by your own son, your flesh and blood. What's that say about you?
Oh, you tread on thin ice. Choose your next words carefully.
Spare me your threats. You'll kill me all the same.
Death can come in many ways, Count. Some quick, some slow.
My, how you strut and vaunt. Terribly sure of yourself. Perhaps too sure.
Your castle is mine. I've crushed your force. I dare say no, I'm not.
Precisely my point. Don't you see? The Empire's not one army, it's dozens, hundreds. It's what I strove to knock into that thick dome of yours. Alas, you're too much a dullard. Soon as I'd learned you'd crossed into Angren, I sent for reinforcements. They'll be here soon. 3 regiments, armed to the teeth.
Nilfgaardians seem ever to have the upper hand, yet I find the means to defeat them.
Not this time, Meave. Nilfgaard comes in numbers. 10 Imperial footmen to each and every one of yours. You'll not win, nor can you flee. Do you know why?
Enlighten me. I dare you.
But one bridge leads to Tuzla. As it happens, I ordered it raised as you laid siege. The swamps around the castle are too deep to cross. Try to rebuild the bridge, the Imperial troops will arrive before you can finish. Your men they'll slay as you watch, and then they'll wring your neck.
I wouldn't be so pleased were I you. You won't live to see this outcome.
I know that, but I take heart in the truth. Though the castle you've seized and will likely kill me, I've won. Outsmarted you, Meave. Twice now. And you know what? 'Twasn't even that hard.
With those words, with his arrogance and contempt, Caldwell had gone too far. The Queen gripped his shoulders, pushed. Caldwell stumbled backwards, then tripped out the window. A blood-chilling shriek filled the courtyard, then broke off abruptly.
Now fool me thrice. Try.
Meave slapped the dust from her hands. The traitor had met a deserving end at last. Yet this was no time to revel in the Count's demise. If Caldwell had spoken the truth, the Queen and her army were in grave danger. Meave's scouts quickly confirmed the traitor's claim. The bridge was indeed in flames, and Nilfgaardian regiments were advancing from the south. Now to confirm if there was truly no other route by which they could flee. The Queen ordered her men to ask the local peasants. One of their number, a stable hand who'd lived near Tuzla all his life, claimed a secret path led out the back of the stronghold.
King Ragbard himself ordered it built. Had him drop great stones into its swamp, one after another, like beads on a string. Bitter water covers them, so you can't see nowt at start. Can make 'em out if you go proper slow, though.
What is it?
The stones, they lead to Isgith. And there, my lady, lurks an evil worse nor any black-clad army.
What? A beast of some sort?
Some say beast, others god. Guernicora, they call her. And you'll yet see, my lady. Isgith shines red with your blood.
A silly tale to frighten children, Meve thought at first. Then paused. For something about the man's voice made his every word believable.
None too encouraging, yet preferable to certain death. Tell me, from Isgith, will we reach the banks of the Yaruga, near Red Lobendon perchance?
Aye, your majesty. You need but head north. And pray all along the way.
Soon, Meve stood where the stable hand had said she should, at the edge of a vast marsh. Carefully, she dipped a foot into the broth and probed for solid ground. Sure enough, she found stone. One cautious step, then another. Meve slowly strode off towards Isgith.
Secret passage. Awesome. Now we're passing through the secret passage, and now I'm going to be able to go through here and explore. New area! So we got quite a bit to explore here.
With the path to Isgith hidden from view, Meve proceeded like one blind, moving solely by touch. With each step, she could not know if she would find rock or plunge beneath the black water's surface. Meve kicked off her boots to empty them of water and...
What the devil?
Leeches!
But
What the devil? Leeches! Nothing much here. There's a peak here. Monsters over there. Puzzle and a chest.
Give me a time. Our ballista, your command. Armor won't serve.
One boat's all I need.
Give me a time. Arbalist at your command.
Probably the hag before she got turned. Sad. So we found a golden chest, that's good. That's here now. The battle here, which I'm not really interested in. I'm interested in the camp down here. Not my drowners, maybe you guys. I don't really need some drowners. I can go around them, I don't have to keep killing them, so. So this is the different story. What the heck is over here? Puzzle thing here? Spider, whatever thingies, okay. Hey, spider thingies, wake up. Giant maracas. So this.
I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
Be ashamed to let this beauty waste.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Can't take it anymore.
The Lyrians marched in silence, too tired to keep in step with the drums. Suddenly, the wind rose to a howl, and there was a loud crash of thunder.
Blast!
Meve leapt from her saddle.
We camp here. Pitch the tents, quickly! Quickly!
As the soldiers rushed to unload the wagons, a wall of water came down, soaking them to the bone. Later, they sat in their leaky tents, huddled, teeth chattering, violent coughs rocking their frames. The storm raged the night through, then finally passed before dawn. Meve emerged from her tent to wring out her coat. Reynard approached, his gait heavy, his face grim.
Your Majesty, several men of the 11th, a dozen or so, sought to flee last night. Sentries stopped and bound them. Now they await your judgment.
Meve fastened her still wet coat. She knew well why the men had tried to desert. They longed for their kin, had lost sight of victory. Perhaps even no longer believed. Yet the marching and fighting seemed destined to go on forever. The Queen sympathized. She too was spent, and many doubts plagued her. Yet she knew the deserters had to be punished. The question was, to what extent? Meve entered the tent where the prisoners stood. Some of the men looked away, ashamed at their deed. Others raised their gazes to meet hers, their eyes red, tearful, pleading.
You all know the penalty for desertion.
Meve said to the soldiers bound at wrist and foot.
I ought to have every last one of you hanged. Yet, we've come far along a treacherous road. Endured hardships extreme. This I considered against your crime. You shall lose rank and receive no pay for 1 year. Now get out of my sight. Immediately!
The deserters mumbled their gratitude and rushed out of the tent, fearing the Queen might yet change her mind. Meve then left for her quarters, anger and bitterness eating her up from the inside.
Gods, have we passed the very threshold into hell?
Close ranks. None is to step off the path without clear orders to do so.
Another hag? I don't feel like fighting another hag. Hags are fucking annoying. Go away, hags. Stupid hags. Oh, Jesus. I don't want to fight that hag. I just fought a hag earlier. They're just annoying. The battles take forever. Alright, let's see. This. I'm getting another cutscene, maybe. I have another battle here. Oh, something's happening over here. What's this? Majesty's cleaning people. Side, judging the color of guardians, they mostly use. Yeah, let's leave the Nilfgaardian inside then. We don't want to save the Nilfgaardians. Hello, dude. You a drowner? I guess I'll fight you. Hey, a foglet. Hey, foglet. This. I don't need that. So that should be good. This. Sorry we're wrecking them bird.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
Okay. That works. my cavalry's still attacking them. That's kind of funny. Let's use my flail. Boom. I can burn all of them. I'll use my medic.
You sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Oh wait! Oh, it doesn't go in my graveyard? Great! Dang it! I thought it was gonna go in my graveyard. Oh, I'm probably gonna have to use... But then I just wasted my medic. I hope I get it. Dang, man. I just wasted my medic. I just wasted my medic. Ugh.
Are you mad? Don't shake that! This could hurt.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target. Thing about slings, they hide well.
Shit, I should have used you.
There's been a mistake. I'm no mage.
Easy. Oh, that fight was kind of fun. Alright, so there's a village up ahead. Small town. Okay, let's see if I can make upgrades. Tapper will be useful, right? I'll have to check that. Okay. Let's see what the town is.
While accustomed to life mid swamp monsters and black magic, Angren's denizens never dared enter Isgit. The Lyrians only saw signs of a human presence there when they spotted a group of thatched roof huts amongst alders.
That settlement. Is it inhabited?
Meve asked, turning to her scouts.
Impossible to say from this distance, Your Grace.
The Lyrians entered the village, swords in hand, prepared to fight. But not a soul nor a beast came forth. Some homes had collapsed from rot, while tall grass concealed the paths between them. Yet, someone had been there not long past, for fresh ghoul cadavers lay by the well. Meve knelt beside the corpse of one, cut clear in half. The beast's killer had been exceptionally strong, and wielded a razor-sharp sword.
More are likely to come around.
Meve leapt to her feet. A man in thick leather armor had emerged from one of the huts.
Hey, Witcher!
Transfixed by his cat eyes, the Queen nonetheless
Witcher of
sensed
the
he
cat
was rather
school!
badly
Okay,
hurt.
that's awesome!
Were that true,
We met the
my
Witcher!
scouts would have blown their horns.
The man pulled
What's
out
your
a
name?
pendant shaped like a bear's head. It hummed and twitched as if striving to
School of
free
the
itself
Bear?
of its chain.
You're from the School of the Bear. Awesome.
Far as monsters go,
He said, lips curling into an unpleasant smile.
witchers aren't usually wrong.
A moment later, a scream pierced the air. Quickly, instinctively, Meve drew her sword and lunged forth.
Awesome. We found a Witcher. We found a Witcher. Woo! Fab, let's go. Let's do this.
They approach! Seems you were right.
Watch your heads!
I feel a strong magic here, my lady. Something controls these creatures.
We'll catch 'em all! The chase is on!
Bigger they are, easier they are to target. Thing about slings, they hide well.
elven blarney.
That was interesting battle. So many monsters everywhere.
The Lyrians emerged victorious, due in no small part to the Witcher.
Thanks for the help. Name's Ivo, Witcher, School of the Bear.
I knew it's School of the Bear!
So, a godless mutant.
Ache, I shall do the talking. Meve, Queen of Lyria and Rivia.
Well, well. Didn't expect to see anyone out here. And certainly not a queen with an army in tow.
We're not here by choice.
I bet not. No one plans to pass through Isgith.
And you? What's brought you here? A contract, perchance?
That's right. Hunting a monster.
I know your services to be rather dear. Who could afford a witcher's bounty in these wretched swamps?
Nilfgaardians.
Blast, of course. Preparing the land for settlement. Cull the monsters, drain the swamp, then bring in slaves. Doubtless from the north.
Maybe. I got paid in advance. I didn't see the need to ask any questions.
But did you have to take the coin? Don't you see what they're doing?
Forgive me, your majesty, but seems to me you're confusing witchers with knights errant. We don't fight oppression, right wrongs, or avenge orphans. We slay monsters for coin. And it don't matter whose head's on the front or whose coffers it's from.
As I said, your majesty, selfish mercenaries devoid of emotion. No empathy, no justice, no code. Interested only in gold.
Downright evil to demand pay for the work you do.
This beast you're out to slay, what is it?
Hang on. You mean to tell me you've led your force into Isgith and don't even know what lives here?
I believe I was clear. We're not here by choice.
Yeah, but now that you are here, it'll take a minor miracle to get you out. Isgith swamps, realm of a truly dangerous being. Elves call it Gwern Iker, the Bloody Mistress. Over generations, locals twisted the name until it became Guernicora.
Indeed. I've heard it.
So you've also probably seen her beloved fruit, leeches and ticks. You'd all be wise to stay away from them.
This Guernicora, what is she exactly?
Depends who you ask. Elves saw a fallen goddess in her. Never managed to cut her down while they lived here, but they did stem her growth, kept her from growing stronger. As for the local humans, spirit of a cursed princess, that's their take. Deep belief, actually.
Care to elaborate?
Stories that she was riding north to marry a Temerian duke. Whole retinue and caravan got lost, wagons got stuck, everybody drowned in the bog. Quicksand got him, that sort of thing. Guernicora grabbed a root before the quagmire swallowed her whole. Hollered for hours, but there wasn't a soul around to hear her. Leeches, hundreds covered her, settled in for a royal feast. Sucked her dry, drained her to pretty much the last drop. Fear and revulsion so completely overcame her spirit, she couldn't pass into the afterlife. So she came back, revived by Isgith's magic.
Ugh. A chilling tale.
Yeah, except made up, probably. Don't believe the elven legends either. Guernicora's a monster, plain and simple. Extremely dangerous, sure, but just a monster.
Legends oft contain a grain of truth, your grace. particularly those that end in tragedy.
The leeches and ticks, you called them her fruit.
It's kind of complicated.
We've time enough.
Gurnacor is a little like a vampire. They're kindred creatures. Except, instead of feasting on the blood of others, she feeds them her own.
I'm not certain I understand.
They're parasites, right? She puts them on her body, feeds them her own blood, then hangs them on shrubs and trees.
Ugh, to what end?
To other monsters, they're delicacies. Sweet, juicy, full of Gurnacora's blood. Irresistible. Any beast that tastes that loses its mind, turns into Gurnacora's slave. So, if your paths cross and push comes to shove, she's not gonna be alone. Find yourself fighting the whole damn swamp.
How are we to fight her? How might she be killed?
Sorry, sharing secrets. Just not something we do.
Not even with those who saved your life just moments past?
We gotta wait till she starts feeding the parasites. She's weakest then. Stand a chance to hurt her.
Right. So we attack only once she puts the leeches to her skin.
Yeah. And when you kill her, if you kill her, any beasts under her spell will weaken considerably. And then, you gotta burn her corpse. I mean it, understand? Burn it.
And you? Will you not hunt her any longer?
No, I will. Just need to prepare. Realized that today. Gotta brew some potions, blade oils. Come back in a few days.
I don't even have that much time. Nilfgaard's hordes pursue us. I must march on.
In that case, wish you luck. Lots of it.
I suppose there's no argument that would persuade you to ride with us.
Your Grace, mutations strip us of emotion, not reason.
Let him go. He'll not be missed, Your Majesty. He and his ilk, they're simply not to be trusted.
The Witcher vanished midst the trees. And Meve simply hoped her soldiers had not overheard any part of their conversation.